Hello, everyone. This is Dave Warner with Small Town Life on the Studio 25 Podcast Network. And today I've got Katie Scanlon in here. She's the Dean of Academic Affairs at Herkimer College. And we're going to talk about some interesting stuff when it comes to adult education as opposed to kids, right? Mm-hmm. And so tell me just a little bit about yourself first, who you are,
Sure.
how long you've been at the college, and so we can kind of set the ground floor.
Okay. Yes, I'm Katie Scanlon. I was recently promoted to Dean of Academic Affairs. I oversee two departments that will play a huge role in what we're about to talk about today. And that is academic support, so tutoring and time management, study skills, and then also academic planning, which is academic advising. So I've been at the college for 21 years, my whole career, proud alum. Herkimer High School, and then went straight up the hill right afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Then went away for a couple of years for my bachelor's degree, came back, and they've let me stay ever since. so I'm very blessed to be.
Is this like the first promotion? Have you've been climbing a ladder kind of thing?
So I started in athletics because I was a very involved student at Herkimer. So after my bachelor's degree, I was kind of recruited to come back and coach. I spent about a year in athletics, and one of my favorite things to do was help the athletes reach their goals. So natural progression was to academics and advisor for until 2016, then became the director of academic advisement, and then recently took on concurrent enrollment. So that affects all of our local high schoolers who take College Now courses. And then recently just took on the Academic Support Center. So yeah, it's been an evolving ladder.
It's a lot.
Yes. But such a fun job. Best job you never knew you wanted.
And it's so beautiful up on the hill there.
It is.
I mean, you guys got such a choice spot in the valley.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the SUNY Reconnect Program, right? So give me kind of the overview of what that is.
Sure. So it's a last dollar paid scholarship by SUNY, so Reconnect, for certain programs that were vetted for workforce needs. SUNY reviewed our programs and approved us for 9 programs. May I read them?
Yes,
okay,
you may. I want to hear what they are.
So I don't miss one. So we have childhood education, computer and network security, computer science, cybersecurity and digital forensics, which is one of our completely online offered programs, as well as on campus, electrical technology, engineering science, health professions, physical therapist assistant, and quality assurance science, which is also offered completely online. So those online programs are where we're seeing the most growth, just because the access that online learning provides for adult learners with everything they have to juggle, all their unique time constraints. But I think it's a great list. We have some programs that are, there's a path to transfer to a bachelor level college, and then we have some that are ready to go right into the workforce. But the best part about it is there's jobs on the other end of completion. So that's the golden piece.
And who is this tailored for? I mean, is this primarily for students coming out of high school going into college, or is it for adults wanting to re-enter the workforce or transfer to something else? Anybody?
Anything. It's beautiful. It's it can be for some of our continuing students who made it to us before this program was unveiled. So continuing students, it could be returning students that were with us, and we call it stopped out. They separated it from us for whatever reason. They can come back, and then just an adult learner who never went to college right after high school. So it's ages 25 to 55, and they have 10 semesters to complete the degree. So that allows for part-time study, which we know is so important for adult learners with everything they're juggling. But they can be 55 on day one of returning, and they still get 10 semesters. So they're grandfathered in, I guess you could say.
I think I've missed the deadline.
Yeah. We've heard that from a few students. But there's other programs that Herkimer would talk to you about, other programs that could make it financially viable for them. And then if a student is 24 on day one of the fall semester, they can age into the program. So it's kind of an auto-enrolled scholarship. So if they meet the criteria, which is 25 to 55, they don't have a previous degree. They can have a micro-credential. They can have a few credits here and there. They can have a certificate degree, rather. So they just can't have an associate's degree, bachelor's degree, or graduate level degree. So,
okay. Yeah. So the intent of this program is probably twofold: financial and to get them that accreditation.
Absolutely.
In other words, get them that degree, correct?
Yes, and I'm really excited. I think Herkimer's going to rock this because we just took advantage of a SUNY transformation grant, and our self-selected project was adult learners. So, and we focused in on those students who stopped out. They were with us for a little bit, so we re-recruited them back, and we created a ton of student supports to make it a seamless transition back to us. So we had a single point of contact person that would be with them from reentry to completion. We had, little emergency funds. We had mental health supports in place for them. And we also worked in collaboration with faculty to create crash courses just to take away that intimidation of returning. So we have all that in place from the old program that's perfectly relevant for this new initiative. So I'm really excited for what we can do. And now this is the financial supports that's going to make students think that this is the time and place to do this.
What kind of things does the financial support cover? Are there specific items that it covers?
Yes, there are a few things.
You're going to go to the list.
I'm going to go to my notes.
How did I know that?
I don't want to. So tuition, mandatory fees, required books and supplies. Those are all covered.
All right.
So what's not covered are housing, meal plans, transportation, childcare if needed. But we hope that, with the tuition and mandatory fees, that people can reroute their funds to the other things that they need to be able to return. Any fees. So, and it's the last payer, as I said earlier, which means that all financial aid has to be applied first. So if they get TAP, if they get Pell, that would be applied to the tuition and fees first, and then this comes in and covers any gaps in remaining balance.
And explain those two programs you just mentioned, because I'm not familiar with them.
Those are the New York State.
The TAP?
Yep, TAP. That's New York State financial aid, and then Pell is federal.
Okay.
So they would still do their, financial aid application, and we would apply all that. Loans is not covered in there. So this would prevent somebody from having to take out loans.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I definitely encourage anybody to contact our financial aid office to really see what they have to do so they don't miss a piece.
And you're going to work with them to try and figure out the best way to manage
Absolutely.
that financial burden, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
What about when it comes to scheduling? You were talking about flexibility online. If you're going to school, how flexible is the program when it comes to an adult who maybe has a job and other things like that? How does that work?
Well, we're looking at all of the programs, especially the campus programs, to see what can be offered at night, what can be offered in afternoons, and what can be a combination between, afternoons and evenings and online courses. So kind of put them all together to kind of create this customized plan for students. The online programs are clearly the most flexible because they could be working on their courses in the middle of the night where somebody else might be working on their courses at 9 in the morning. When I went back to school as an adult learner for my graduate degree, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. was the golden hours because kids were in cribs and day job was put away for the day. And we have advisors and academic coaches that will help students find how to manage everything because they're dealing with more than just the 18-year-old who's coming right from high school. A lot more to juggle, a lot more stress of adult life.
How do I make this happen?
Right, exactly. And there's people to help them with that.
Yeah, especially once they've made that decision to do that. It's like as much help as you can give them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How new is this program? Is it like really new?
Very new. Very new.
So you don't really have any success stories where you can point to somebody's gone through and
Right. We had some info sessions. We're done with those, but we have some recordings of those, and we might do another one. But we have an adult learner who comes and introduces his experience and what services he took. His name's Jeremy Bell. He had a great experience at Herkimer and now is, scholarship to his next institution. So he has kind of been our poster child for telling adult learners what it's really like as an adult learner, because it might be intimidating. Some might want to not want to sit in the classroom with 18 to 21-year-olds, but he's done a great job kind of telling students what it's going to actually be like.
And we put one of our guys on your poster, Scott Kinville.
Okay.
So,
yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
But we don't show that poster often.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. But I mean, what are the challenges for that adult, other than the feeling of sitting in a classroom and going, God, these are all kids and stuff they're talking about. You're probably not.
Yep.
And it is children. But are there any other issues that the adult learners are trying to deal with?
I would just say, juggling work, juggling a family. Sometimes students think they can work full-time, they can parent full-time, and they can go to school full-time. So it's our job to kind of tease that out for them, what's really manageable. That is the biggest thing, but also financial. So we've, I've heard many times, I can't quote it, unfortunately. But sometimes it's something as small as a car repair, which makes a student stop out again. So we want to mitigate that. We want to prevent those barriers before they roll out in the student's path. So
okay. What about if they've got, you talked about trying to reconnect students who left maybe and hadn't finished and come back. What about students from other schools that may have credits? What's the process?
That's a great point. So they also have a lot of work history. They have a lot of academic history. So to untangle those and translate it into credits that can be applied to their degree and make them even closer to completion, that's what our goal is. So Herkimer just implemented a prior learning assessment policy where we understand that learning takes place outside of the classroom. So another Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Riker, Dr. Robin Riker, she handles our prior learning assessment. We call it PLA, and will help a student work with faculty to see if that learning meets the student learning outcomes, and then we can apply credits that way. So yeah, I think that's another thing is how credits from other schools and in the workforce can be applied, and then what is their new completion plan?
Right.
So
and your
customized
experience.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everybody talks about jobs. We need jobs here in the Valley and all. How do you see this program impacting that need?
Absolutely. I mean, just the childhood education being one of those on there.
That's a big one.
With my work in concurrent enrollment, teacher shortage, this is just a community catalyst to push teachers back out, train them, get them onto their bachelor's degree and into our schools. So that's just one of the examples.
Okay. Like moving forward, how do you see this program evolving? Because they always start out with ideas, right? And then, but where do you think it's going to go? How do you think it's going to impact us?
It's big. It's already kind of, we're seeing so many students that are just thinking back to now's the right time to it was kind of off their radar. College will always be there, but now it's the right time to come back because of this incentive. I mean, we know it's going to be around at least, for this first cycle, which is 10 semesters, so 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So I hope that we can get, more programs that meet the industry standards for being approved on this list. And it just continues to grow. Are
there any programs you think like, boy, I wish this one was on? Are there some in particular you're kind of targeting to move into that?
Well, I mean, we looked at quite a few programs. That supply chain management we tried to get on the list. Our human services, which has just been rebranded to community health and human services, we were really hoping for that one, but a few didn't make the list. But we do have different categories where they would have approved. So I'm sure that faculty and administration are going to be looking at those to get more majors on this list.
It sounds like something like supply chain management with all the warehousing and all that we have going on in the Valley would be important to have that skill.
Agree.
Oh, no, it sounds like a great program.
Yes.
So tell me, 5 years from now, so you're funded for 5 years. How are you going to measure your success at that point in time, or how is SUNY going to measure that success and to continue the program?
Yes. Well, we're learning a lot about what SUNY's going to want from us to show proper assessment of the program, but everybody's coming in at a different part of their journey. Some might be coming in and only need 2 more classes. Some might need 2 more semesters. Some might need the whole curriculum. So I think we're going to look at persistence and retention. So fall to fall enrollment and fall to spring enrollment, and then also completion. So and transfer. So these students that are entering our transfer programs, are they successfully going on to the bachelor's degree? So I'm sure we'll have to look at a lot to see a job placement as well. If they're in these career programs, I'm sure we're going to have to look at a lot of different metrics to prove success.
Well, I hope it works. I mean, anything we can come up with to get people better educated into the jobs and have that workforce available here in the Valley to help grow industry, which appears to be coming back.
Yeah,
we'll see, hopefully.
Yes, this is very exciting.
Yeah. Anything else I've missed?
I don't think so.
You've got some good notes there.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Did I do a good job without looking at your notes?
You did awesome. You did so awesome. It's. I think we have everything on here. The website for Herkimer is, let me see where it is here. Sorry.
You got a special
I wanna
one
say-
for?
We do. It's www.herkimer.edu/freecc. As in Free Community College. So
Okay.
lots more details on there. And we do encourage students to just, you don't have to commit before you talk to us. So call us and talk about what a plan for you might be. We have, somebody right in my office who's going to be the point of contact. So we can talk about what that looks like for that student.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friendly group of people
Yeah,
to help
absolutely.
you figure out what to do.
Absolutely.
Funding wise, course wise, maybe career wise.
Yes. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Katie, for
Thank
your
you
time
so
today. It's
much for
been
having me.
fantastic.
Yes, thank you.
That's all we've got today. We'll see you on the next edition of Small Town Life.